Hey, viewers, this is Entrepreneurial Success Stories coming to you again with a special guest. And I'm inviting guests on this show to share their stories and to inspire you and motivate you to go after your entrepreneurial dreams. And today, my guest is Mario Bekes, who is the CEO of Insight Intelligence, and I saw his story on LinkedIn and I totally fall in love with it. So freaking inspiring. And I wanted to invite him and he said yes, and he's here. I'm super excited. So welcome, Mario Bekes, all the way from Australia, right?
That's correct. Thank you, Amy, for having me in your show. It is true privilege. I always say that from the very first day I saw your appearances on LinkedIn on Professional Business Network, I always like it how do you doing things, how you present things, and how much you believe in yourself, helping other people. And of course, even it's a 4 o'clock in the morning in Sydney. I just want to clarify to your viewers and listeners. I I just wake up half an hour ago, so I'm gonna be a little bit slow. But thank you for having me, Amy. It is true privilege.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you for waking up. And yes, it's 4 a.m. for Mario right now. So he's definitely going out of his way. He's committed. He's one of the really awesome trade entrepreneurs that they're really committed and they make it work no matter what it takes. So thank you so much for waking up so early
Thank
for
you.
the show. And so let's start with your story, with a little bit about yourself. How did you become an entrepreneur? And if you can tell us a little bit, how your life has shaped and how did you get where you are today?
Amy, thank you for that question. I truly believe that there's expression I was always being told, be careful what you wish for. And as a child, every kid has a dreams, every kid has hopes and believes there's gonna be something. I always wanted to be the soldier, but did I know I was going to become the professional soldier and officer? No. I was born back in Yugoslavia, which was communist country then, and it was a different type of life. My parents were different parents. They more preferred to be for themselves rather for the kids. Uh, and when I was 14 years old, my father decided to kick me out on Christmas Eve. 86. I don't know, he was drunk and he wasn't happy with his life. Who knows what it was? And
Wow.
for some reason, he told me that evening to get out of the house. And I was thinking he was joking. I was just 14 years old. He
Well,
didn't joke. It was a Christmas Eve, it was a snowing. And, he literally pulled me from my neck and throw me out of the house.
oh
And
gosh.
look, as a kid, you know what's happening, you think it's just a part of the show, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna come back and pick you up. And
Yeah.
for some reason, my grandfather, he appears out of the dark, My grandfather was a highly positioned official in the secret police in communist Yugoslavia. And, he says, what are you doing on the snow? It's time to be at home with the family. I explained to him what it is. He took me away. So to make a long story short, he sent me military school. And, I started my career 14, 15 years old to go into naval military school in Yugoslavia. So to become the officer in Yugoslav Federal Army. However, 5 years later, Yugoslavia falls apart and the civil war broke out. I was being, as everything was just in a mess, it was just a turmoil. You didn't know what's happening. Suddenly you lean for the one system and then you need to grow up fighting for democracy, for independence. It was all breaking simultaneously, the friendship, the families. I have been in touch with my family, with my parents. And one
Yeah.
day before the war started, I went to see them. I stayed with them. In the morning, I wake up, they left a message, we're okay. So they just gone in Germany as refugees. And I said, what's going on? And that morning, war broke out. And I was like, they left a message. And, I already had the dreams to become the soldier. So what had happened that you are 18 years old, you know nothing about life, you agree with me and everybody.
Yeah.
When you're 18 years old, you think about, I don't know, how to go out,
Yeah.
university, boys, girls, all this. scenarios, right?
Yeah.
And I'm making such a big plans in my head. I'm gonna be the submarine commander, captain. Gonna make the best girl. But the life was nothing like this. Suddenly I'm in Croatia fighting for independence, which I didn't even know what democracy is. Amy, to be honest with you, I was a child of communism. I was a hardcore young socialist, educated and everything. Suddenly I'm fighting for democracy, and my understanding of democracy was Coke, McDonald's, rock and roll, but it wasn't like this. So for me, I stayed almost 9 years in military, and I was several times wounded. And I was continuously dreaming, Amy. I was continuously dreaming every day in a combat or when I was at home on my own.
Wow.
I always dreamed about something better. And one day, I'll tell you just a story. One day I was on the front line, and there was a big plane, in the air. You can see that it's a big, I imagine it was a big because, hot air, warm air behind the tail.
Wow.
And I said, this plane is going in Ibiza. There's the best McDonald's. One day I'm going to be on a plane. And everybody was saying to me, and I was like commanding officer, I had a sizable unit. And everybody says to me, boss, come on, stop dreaming. It's like one day I'm going to be on that plane. I have enough. But what did actually happen? I was, you're growing up in uncertainty, you're developing all your skills, which are useful in the combat. And then after peace come 96, I was transferred in military security intelligence services. And I was hoping then, I said, I'm going to be on that plane. So what happened, 98, I was transferred to the Department of Foreign Affairs, which, for me was like, what? He said, that's a 007 lifestyle. It's like, so, yes,
James Bond.
Yeah, no. And, but I was fortunate enough, I was made at stage, which, didn't work very well because my father passed away a year earlier. And on a funeral, my ex, she told me she's pregnant with somebody else. So it was for me, it was like, yeah, that was
Wow, how did you take that?
Well, look, I was angry. I was disappointed. One thing I learned that society didn't register my presence. Society has always been happy to embrace and hug people who are contributing more whole society. Like, I'll always call them the A-grade students. The best in society can be, university finished, have all these beautiful titles before the names. I wasn't, I was in military, and, you had the one title, and then military security intelligence services. And, for me was not so much liberty to see myself as a part of society. Where I was in Croatia, I was always wanted more. And when you want more, Amy, it's hard to understand when it's going to happen. This, so
yeah,
you will agree with me. Things happen when you least expect it. For me, it was a transfer to foreign affairs. Will come suddenly. I never expected this, but I always wanted to move away, to leave the military. Have enough, almost 9 years, and you seeing yourself, become the bold, and all these things. It's just things changing outside you, and it wasn't the thing I wanted anymore. I wanted more in my life, but I didn't know how to get this more from my life, because that more was always reserved for the people who done university, so that before, people who has parents, who can help them to escalate themselves in society. I didn't have nobody. Plus, I was going to divorce, which later on turned into something totally different. So, 98, I was on plane to Australia after the training in foreign affairs. I was the head of the security intelligence services for Croatian government in Australia.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then there was the biggest hurdle. Let's go sit on a plane. I've never been on a plane, Amy. You know what I mean? Like, you just and when you see on the map, how far away Australia is, it's like, God.
Yeah,
I said
how
to
long
my
it took
boss,
you to fly there?
yeah, like, you know, it was like a 36 hours flight then in 98.
Yeah.
You know, it was Croatia, Austria, London. I was just
Wow.
a mess. You just want to die. And then you come in Australia, and then suddenly I wanted back. That was my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Unknown. I didn't know English. I know the Russian, German. I said to my boss after a few days, I said to him, listen, this is not society for me. They're too friendly, too nice.
They're too nice. This is happy people here.
Yeah, like, you know, Western
Totally
society is
different. It's so
different, you
cool.
know, like, but, you know, and I'm like, he says to me, come on, Mari, try and, make it the best, you know, we could support you. If it really doesn't work, in 3 months' time, we transfer you in Washington, because Washington was second offer. And I said to him, okay, I'll try. But, you know, step by step, I come to position that I realize that my dreams come true. And I said, like, if I achieve this so far, I truly believe that I can do more. Again, you know, when you dream, you need to be careful when you dream when you're 14 years old or when you're 29 years old, because people say, what do you want from your life? And I was like, I wanted this and this. So do
So what
dreams
is
come
that you
true?
wanted? Can you tell us what is that you wanted? What is that you were dreaming of at that time?
First of all, I want to have a kid. I want to have a child. I knew it. There's no secret. Due to injuries in the war, I knew that it's going to be difficult for me to have a child. But I met a lovely lady here in Australia, and I explained my position that I'm going to divorce. I can't have kids. I like to stay in Australia, but I don't want to stay in Australia because you're Australian and you give me visa. So she says to me, "You are such a mess." I say, "Yes, I am." It's like I don't know how to do it.
And then she fall in love with you.
Yeah, she did, and
So cool.
yeah. So like she accepted me for who I am, and in the life I truly believe, Amy, that from distance, what I want everybody to understand, everything's happened for the reason, in the right moment, with the right people, right events. Yeah. And I truly believe that what you believe is what you become. So you become what you believe, what you're saying, and what you're thinking. When my son was born, and it's born for IVF, there's no secrets. He's a beautiful young boy. Now it's 18 years old. He kills my soul every day with his puberty things, but he's there. So like, do I believe gonna have a child one day? Even I was told you can't have. I wanted, I dreamed, I wished it, and it didn't happen when I wanted any. Happened when he wanted to happen. So that was and then what I really wanted is to have my business, and that was the biggest issue. How I can run the business, I don't even properly English. I mean, now I know much more than 20 years ago. My English was very, very poor, very poor. I mean, very, very poor.
Your English is perfectly fine.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, don't even say that. We just, I'm from Hungary originally as well, so I have an accent also. So it's okay. We just have accents. That's all. We speak proper English. No worries.
So like I was always having that belief. I inserted that belief in myself. Nobody wants me because of my English. Yeah. And that was my biggest obstacle. I wanted. I didn't know how to do it. And then in 2009, GFC comes across. I was fully dependent by that stage to my wife. And then everything crashed. The marriage and crashed the finances, everything is just crashing down. And I decided to pull the line and say, like, now it's time or never to start working on my dream. So, there's a lot of setbacks in life. So instead of talking about my life in a way like, Alfred Hitchcock and Stephen King make the movie together in Chernobyl, and I mean, like that's how my life looks like. It's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie. So how old were you when this happened? How old were you when you decided this is it? I'm gonna make my dreams come true. And what was that switch that kind of switched it on?
38 years old. I was 38 years old, and some standards, Amy, people will say you're too old, Amy. No, I'm not. I just figured, oh, Mario, why you want to do this? Find a job. And what happened? I ran into the book. I was so desperate. My marriage was crashing. My son was being diagnosed with epilepsy. So it was no money, and I didn't want to depend on wife. And I said, like, I need to draw the line here. I'm gonna move everything away from me and work on my dream, which is gonna secure more. The tragedy is, I mean, when you don't know what you're capable to do before you reach the point where you break yourself. So either you remake yourself or you're gonna stay on the bottom. For me, the crucial point was, as I said, I was in corporate environment. I was a government environment, then corporate, and still I depended financially of my wife because I started a career here. She's established, she's born, and I was wanting that independence. I'm the man. I need to give my family. She wasn't like this. So one day, what happened with the GFC start rolling, as you remember, 2008, 2009. We were spending all the savings, and she was only working. And then one day, I was being forced to sell things, which I never done in my life.
Yeah.
And one of the last things I sold was a toys of my child. And you come into this pawn shop, and kid wants the toys back, and you give him over the counter to give you $20. I mean, like, break your heart. It just breaks you inside. And I said, that's it. I need to face my fear of my non-English. I started my business in intelligence, and I didn't have money for advertising. And people told me, you can't succeed, your English is bad, you can't run an investigative company.
Where those people come from?
but
so many.
I'm pretty sure that this is everybody problem that people around us is the problem, not just us. And if you don't believe in yourself, so I run into that book. I mean, not sure if you read. It's called from writer. It's called Paul Hanna. You Can Do It, and he said in that book, in opening statement, a first paragraph, referring to movie Field of Dreams. Did you watch with Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams?
No, I haven't seen it.
The baseball field in a cone. He make a baseball field. Anyway, he said, if you build, it will come. I was like, I knew it. That's a formula. It will come. And I struggled 3 years. I struggled for the first client. I know how I survived. Trust me, I have no idea. I have no idea how I was surviving. And then with the first client, the second client, and you're going ahead, I put myself another goal to become the writer. And that was a trick, So like English, it's easy to talk.
So first you're worried about, you don't speak English, but when you write English, it's like spelled differently than we are saying it, right? So it's like learning two languages. So how did you go with that?
I improvise, Amy. There's no lies. So like, if you want to do something, you improvise. So like, I was lucky. I will ask the people in my office. I employed the very smart people. I didn't have no money, but I knew it. I need to give them pay. And I explained to them. They knew it. It's like, I'm not a Aussie, oi. I have the knowledge. I have experience. But whatever goes out in public must be checked my English. As I say, LinkedIn, my books. And I met good people who never, who believed in me and never make fun of me or bully me or ridicule me.
That's super important. Yeah.
Yes. And as long as you have the clear message to your clients, and my strategy was always walk to the door and I will ask the person what I can do to make you king in your organization. And people say like, what? I say, you tell me how I can make you king through my services in the organization. That was my sales pitch. And I said, like, you know how the people corporate world, like, what? I said, like, give me one job and I will prove to you that you make a good choice. If not, you can go in the public and say everybody in my business is worse. And you know, Amy, I wasn't feel comfortable. I knew it. It's a good, have a passion and, you know, dedication, but it was hard to admit one thing, rejection. And I've been rejected, of course. But if you surround yourself with a positive, then I got a coach, you know, I couldn't afford it. That gentleman, he knew it, what I'm going through, that I'm paying the few staff members and I have the okay business. And, you know, as Daniel says to me, you don't need to pay me. I'll teach you some things. So he spent with me 3 days, full days in the office explaining the process, you know, of the sales, of the, you know, the appearance.
Yeah.
It's not just, it wasn't good enough only I know what I do. You need to, you know, appear differently in a corporate world. You need to what you're talking about, being, you know, firm. And as I was progressing through my life, I realized I'm learning new vocabulary. Let's just say, talking to you or, you know, a few other people, I realized that my vocabulary become richer, become more developed, more sophisticated, rather than, you know, watching just TV and so be careful what you wish for. So I become the writer. I start writing and eventually, you know, ending my master's as well on university on English, which for me was, but
super cool.
The thing is, I feel like, you know, now 10 years later, or 48 years later, now I can say, Amy, that if you really want something, you achieve them, but it takes time. And being impatient, it's the biggest issue. So now, like, it's easy for me to say, you know, Amy, I have been involved, not to you, like to just a figure of speech or somebody. No, I don't like to do this. I like to say to people, it's hard to impress me because I've been through all this. I believe you as well. We all have our.
So, well, thank you so much for sharing that so far. I know we kind of got disconnected here for a few minutes. So, so let's get back to it. So, you are now CEO of Inside Intelligence, and what do you do there? What kind of clients do you serve? And I also wanted to ask you about the books because I haven't read your books yet, and I want to read them.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna send you. I don't want to. I don't like it, electronic books. You know, for me it was difficult always to read something what's on a screen, because it's always, you know, start reading and then comes email or comes the message or something. Like, oh. But I was saying you, all my books being related to what I'm doing. Yeah, you're welcome. The books have been related to the investigative interrogation techniques, social engineering, which is perfectly created environment to extract information from other person, identity. So it's all related to the human intelligence and investigations interrogation methods.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but what happened last year, as I say, I truly believe, Amy, please correct me, but you know, I think that life always give you the challenges in a way to the people. And as I said, like, I was a sucker. I begged for love in my life. I begged for the friendships. I begged for many things in my life. And when I hit my bottom in 2009, 2010, I had another one in 2014, totally different reasons. But then you realize that people you're surrounding yourself, it's very important. And you need to change yourself, no other people. I was the first one who was pointing fingers at everybody, blaming everybody for my mistakes. I blame, you know,
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So like,
I used to be like that too.
So like, you know, this is the people I met. I was lucky, and this gentleman, Marlon, he told me, why don't you end up finish book, my biography? It's like, my biography. It's like, you know, who's going to read my biography? He said like, yo, Mara, it's like, it's So like, okay, I'll try. And it's hard to write about yourself. So what I finished, two books, biography. One's called Blood, Soaked Soil. Second is A Still Rain, but that is not in the title, because what happened in the meantime, I got publisher, and I can't disclose the name at the moment because the contract, and they are very, very envious and jealous, and they want to convert the movie in Hollywood. And I was like, come on, seriously? So what happened, Amy, that all that struggle you're going through life, somebody's going to notice. I'm always say, if people wants to know how to run the business and how to be successful, go to Amy Knazovic.
Thank you so much. That's so
I
so
said
kind.
it. I said at the beginning, there's a few people who can impress me, and that's like what I'm seeing always. This is the beauty of the meeting people on a professional business network as a LinkedIn. There's a lot of people who share their thoughts, but I can now judge and I can see it, how the people actually functioning. It's easier to me to see to somebody, and that's the same with Amy. So guys, go to this lady, because
Thank you.
I will not wake up 4 o'clock in the morning. Not just for everybody. It is someone gives me opportunity. You gave me opportunity. Amy, she found time for me 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's what my book's about, and I'm very grateful with you. In the meantime, what's happened to me, I start running the business radio talk show on English, which exposed me to the different avenues and the good credibility. So the business we run here in St. Intelligence Group, we are providing investigative intelligence solutions. We're servicing major corporations in Australia and globally. Now the less global, let's go take that globally a little bit less, because we can't travel from Australia yet.
Yeah.
But so everything is online. So we're providing investigative intelligence solutions for our clients, from insurance claims, political intelligence, social media intelligence. We're doing a lot of due diligence, background checks, surveillances. So it's a one-stop shop for information risk management. That's what we do.
Sounds really cool, really interesting.
Yeah,
I want to read your books, because it sounds like, it's being like a psychology, like you kind of reading people's mind or something like that. That's what I'm taking out of it.
Look, I give credit people to on schools I went, and they are smart ones, and because what would I sometimes I think myself, you do what you love to do, what you do in best, and when you do this with a passion and knowledge, experience, you can't fail. It's hard, it's difficult. I know what maybe is hungry, being homeless, being divorced, and all these things I really know. But if you're persistent and if you do the way you have the plan, you have the dreams, which nobody should deter you from those dreams. And if you have a good coach like Amy, you must be successful. And it's true, like, look, I couldn't afford them. I told you I couldn't afford, I was copying people. I was looking at coffee shops. I was a little spy like before. I was like, what, okay, that's how they're doing it. Honestly, Amy, and, I combined the small plans for myself. Keeping ideas here, it's good, but when you put it on a paper, it's become plain.
Yeah.
And if you stick with a 7-day plan, and even if you decide to change the dieting or whatever it is, things are changed, and this is what makes me happy, that people like yourself give me opportunity from other side of the planet, talk to me. Why wouldn't I wake up, like with a person who's helping so many people, and you have the great recommendations and so your success stories. This is what makes me happy, that people who don't save on themselves to help others, then I see myself. But if I walk somewhere and somebody, I'm the manager in a bank, and, okay, you are the employee 9 to 5. You don't work for the check. The check comes to you every week. I need to fight like Amy, like everybody else. But that's the beauty of everything. So this is what I appreciate in people. And when I get a business from the clients, I'm doing everything to justify their decision even if they're that day happier or I don't know, like, they needed my services, but always going to prove to clients that they make a good choice for what's it calling, choosing me. And
Yeah.
I'm always gonna make it that to endeavor that part with my books, education, so they see that I'm not stagnating on one spot. I want them to see, and I'm advising everybody, invest into a legacy, and then you can give to clients.
Love
Clients
it.
going to appreciate this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely love it. So I just want to ask you one more thing. So I talk to many people that are stuck in their 9 to 5, right? So they're doing something that they no longer love. They're burnt out, their bosses are not really appreciating what they do. Like even if like they make okay money, they can pay their rent and all that stuff and live month to month, but it's totally unfulfilled. They have their dreams on the side and they're kind of scared to go after it because it's the safety, right? They have their paycheck, they have their mortgage paid, so they're afraid to make that move to actually go after their dream. So what would you suggest to people like that? Like how would they go about it? What kind of maybe mindset shift would they need to start doing to make that happen?
One thing I do remember, one of the classes, the lady, she, when I was in military, she asked us what's the strongest finger on a hand, and we always this. It's this one, right? It's the smallest one, it's the strongest finger on a hand.
Oh,
Why?
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, it gives the balance. Try to do the steering, or try to carry the bags, or try to hold the rifle. Whatever it is, this is actually the balance of everything.
Cool.
Usually, yeah, like so. When you take in consideration in life, we always concentrate on the big picture. That so many things on the side appearing, the signs, the warnings, alarms, and we ignoring. I was the number one. I can write a book of so many bad, terrible decisions, honestly, because I just ignore the one things. Why? Because we always looking, those fingers here. We don't look at the finger, small one. So when you want to change something, you either must have a decision, firm decision, and believe in what you do, or you're going to reach the breaking point in your life when you have no other choice, like I did, and then to start working on something and fulfill dreams. I didn't start my business to fulfill my dreams. They come as I was growing in my business, in my life and everything. But I realized that I can afford now to study English, or I can afford to write the books. I can afford things I couldn't because I was providing the services. So anybody who is afraid, we are all afraid. We are all afraid.
Yeah.
But Amy, let me tell you something. If you don't have your plans, imagine how you're going to feel when you fit in somebody else's plans. And most importantly,
yeah,
life is risky, but it's so risky that nobody comes out alive. So regardless what you do, it's one's being responsible adult and take care of a family and everything else. But if you don't try, someone else is going to try. Are you going to fit into their plans? I heard from the gentleman called Bob Proctor, and he asked,
yes,
who's a great speaker, he said, the richest place on a planet is the cemetery. And I was like, so he continued talking.
Oh, I remember when he said that. I love
There's
his
people
videos.
with the dreams and ideas who never eventuated. And that actually strike me.
Yes.
So I don't say that, I will say 7 of 10 my ideas I do, they're not good. But I've been stopped.
Yeah.
I say, and that's like, the important thing is, if you want to succeed, you just find a person who's going to support you along the way, invest, like Amy, or find a coach who knows, who's been to struggle, people who knows what they did, how they did. It's hard to have a support of somebody from your environment who is there just for you, for sake of being, not to be for you in a way how he or she was like yourself. That's what I say to people. If you want to go for it, or don't go at all. If you want to go up and down, up and down, up and down, planes A, B, C, D, it will never work. It's hard. It's hard. you know, Amy, you know, you work 24/7, it's not 9 to 5, and you need to make yourself check. Nobody gives you check. And you have no
I love what I do, so and I have no complaints.
And see, but that's the same thing. Like, you know, I'm hoping that this
Yeah.
is going to resonate with your listeners and the viewers. But I'll be very happy to answer. Like, if I had a chance to meet someone like yourself to guide me to the process of building myself, it will be shorter pain, less obstacles, but I couldn't afford, I didn't know people, I didn't know what I look for. And that's the reason why you struck attention to me, because every post resonates with me, regardless how successful or unsuccessful I am, but life experience taught me to see these things. Most of people don't see that things. And I'm advising everybody, if you go for it, be all in 100% and go with Amy, and she's going to show you. So that I understand everybody, this is not paid advertising. There's nothing to do with
no,
nothing.
I'm surprised you're talking about it. Thank you so
much.
much.
Because like I will pinpoint on you 100 times before the many other posts, because like I can resonate. Only reason because of life experience and where I'm right now. I'm reading your posts. Other posts are great, but I'll stick with Amy and a very few people. That's
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons I share my stuff, to inspire people to just get out of that box that they're living in. Because I used to be there. I used to be in that box as well, right? I was closed in and I didn't see further than that. And once I, watch inspiring people like Bob Proctor, like you mentioned, and your mind just starts firing these ideas. Like, holy shit, like I can do this. Like I can actually do something. And one inspired action after another, you actually can get your dreams come true, like within a few years. Yes, the first 2-3 years is struggling, and you need to work your butt off. It's really true, but you can get there after a while, right? So
absolutely. I mean, that's the reason I'm grateful to I talking to you this morning, because talking to you, I'm becoming more I was talking, I become more aware things I told you, and I said like I can improve now in future some other things, because I remember how I was before. So that's the reason why I like it while I'm talking to you. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you something. So right now in your life, do you have days when you doubt yourself, when you still doubt what you are doing, or do you have an idea, you go for it, you action it, and it's done?
I have no doubts anymore. I did have the doubts before. I truly believe that if you believe in yourself, if you really demonstrate to others and the clients that you committed, and that you're professional, that what you are preaching, you're doing, that what you're doing has the results, positive, meaningful impact on the clients, and I truly believe that you can deliver. No, I have no doubts. I have no reserves or
love it.
Because at the end of the day, look, the COVID hit us all 12 months ago. There was a big plans, and I do remember last year, before I go, I just want to say this one, I was in Singapore. I was doing big presentation in one of the banks, and I was the smallest company then at that table, and everybody was bringing all these big folders, golden cufflinks, everything else. And I don't say I was in shorts, I was decently dressed in suit, and everybody was presenting, and at the end I say, excuse me, and the CEO of that bank say, yes, Mr. Bekes. I say, I think that this will not work. He says to me, why? It's like, we're in Singapore, and I think the pandemic is going to be declared. And everybody's like, no, you don't know. We are the company of, million employees. We know we do risk management. So like, I tell you something from my point of view. I think that we are all going to face something uncertain. And what happened 2 weeks later the world was being shut down, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I try to say, COVID is one thing, and that's what I respect about you. Consistency. You're consistently online. You try to help the people, try to set. And so like, while I have a doubt in myself when I see the people better than myself, like yourself and a few other, continuously on daily basis, reading and developing the skills for us who are learning. So no, I have no doubt, because I
love that. I absolutely love that. So this is actually something that I try to teach my students and explain to them, that your certainty, that your identity, your certainty, that's the most that you're gonna need to work on a daily basis on yourself. So yes, some people is like, give me the strategy. How can I make money? How can I have more clients? And then they have this certain, strategic questions. But when you look at the person, where is your commitment? Are you consistent? Can you do this every day? Are you taking care of yourself? And it's just like, what? So
that's what I want to see. That's what the clients want to see. And be better than I do. And that's what I respect you. If the client sees to your consistency, well, you're still here kicking, you're not complaining. Well, of course, I'm gonna give to you opportunity to bring my company up, or my clients, or whatever it is. So. Yeah. That's the beauty of everything else, yes.
Awesome. Okay, so why don't you tell people, our viewers, where can they find you? Where can they find your books? How can they contact with you?
Yeah, look, it's a two ways. First, you talk to Knazovic on LinkedIn, and I'm going to contact Mario Bekes, Bekes. So on the LinkedIn, Mario Bekes. Or you can come on a website, Inside Intelligence, INSIGHT, intelligence.com.au, and just feel free to contact me to the website. It's an email and all contact details. So LinkedIn or the insideintelligence.com.au, and I'll be happy to talk to you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for everything that you've shared. It's absolutely super interesting and inspiring, and listening to your story and going through these ups and downs in your life since you're a child, since you're a 14-year-old little child, really. And look how far you've come. I think it's amazing. I love it. I love
everybody can, and everybody can, Amy. I'm not the individual only one. I truly believe people need the people like yourself to be coached. I truly believe people need to understand whatever happened now is going to define them later. And as long as you believe in yourself and your capabilities, I don't let other one to put you down, you're going to be okay. But you need to have consistent development. You need to have the coach in life. I do have the coach as well here, still the same person, but I can afford him now. And I still, discussing things different level, because I realize 7 of 10 ideas, it's a waste of time, energy, money. And I say, yeah, you see, that's a good point. So everybody needs to believe themselves, have a good coach, and decide there's a point of no return. You go ahead, you do it or die. It's same like in the army. So
you do it or die. That's a perfect closing, actually. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
so much for watching us, and we'll be back soon with entrepreneurial success stories, and looking forward to some amazing guests this year. I'm not going to tell you who they are because I like to keep you in the dark and surprise you. Anyways, thank you so much, Mario, for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you, Amy, for having me today.
4 a.m. there in Australia.
Going to bed now. No. I'm going now to take the photos I told you. I love photography. So, but thank you for having me today. And the guys, stick with Amy. You're going to go far. Trust me, you will. She's a person who's have consistency on daily basis, and that's what you want.
Appreciate it. You're awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching, everyone. Just say bye to the viewers.
Yeah, see you, Amy. Ciao.